1956, the first elephant-powered rocket is launched into space.
Comes high. Sky high.
Starring Kurt Russell.
Today, we must be on guard in the sky when it comes to protecting our resources.
These jets are guarding a Pringles factory.
The national resources that are so precious to us.
Did he just call us natural resources? Itty-bitty morons. On guard. How to make foil fencing work for you. It's the Department of Defense bombing range and playground. Duck and cover, kids.
The offensive weapons of tomorrow are here today.
Resistance is futile.
Supersonic. Super destructive.
That's encouraging. Thanks a lot.
Seemingly unresistible.
Or irresistible, if you want to be correct.
To protect the future of America,
We must explode the present.
techniques of tomorrow had to be discovered now. Electronics for combat means new concepts, new tools, new weapons.
And lots of blinking
You are
lights.
listening to the heartbeat of the Sage computer. Every instrument in this room is constantly monitoring, testing, pulse-taking, controlling.
Hey, it's more advanced than
For
AOL
this
is today.
the programming and operations center for the Sage computer which surrounds it.
Sage
To
Lego
it
action
come
set sold
continuous
separately.
streams of data, which it continuously absorbs and stores on magnetic drums, tapes, and cores.
Which hold a whopping 400
Data
bytes.
from radar units, Texas towers,
Texas toast.
picket ships, early warning aircraft, ground observer corps, weather bureau.
These are all things.
To say nothing of up-to-the-minute data on all regularly scheduled commercial air flights.
The military uses Scantron
It
technology.
also packs away information as to the number, location, and characteristics of all military craft.
All military crap.
All anti-aircraft guns. All defensive missiles in the area.
And everything you rent from
This
Netflix.
computer is on the job around the clock with 24-hour-a-day reliability.
Give or take 20 hours.
It is really two computers, but only one is operating the system.
The others used exclusively
The
for
other, with
playing
its
Mahjong.
vast memory, performs as a slave, checking calculations and results. Sage possesses the newest and most revolutionary advance in data processing.
A speak and spell.
Display scope, a computer-generated visual display.
Available in yellow, yellow, and slightly more yellow.
Air defense required split-second presentation as well as split-second calculation. Given this objective,
Yep, gotta agree with you there.
identify
Yep,
the latest extension of data processing, the display scope, a giant picture tube.
It's Homer Simpson's
Which
cranium.
computer results are instantaneously and continuously translated into graphic images. In Sage, airmen have the battle visualized for them on the computer-generated display.
Enemy is yellow, sir.
2 floors above the great computers are the batteries of display scopes. Although they look like the offspring of a marriage between a television tube and a radar screen, display scopes do not show physical images transmitted from elsewhere.
That would be impossible.
They display the results of the computer's findings. Sage, with its display scope, also has one feature possessed by neither a television or radar screen.
Yellow.
It has memory. In case of enemy air attack, not only can a clear picture of the changing air situation be displayed on the scope, but if the airman wishes to see how things got that way, the scope can recall any previous phase of the situation from the computer's memory.
50 years later, and Gateway still hasn't
past,
discovered computer memory.
Sage can project into the future.
Impressed yet? Here, Sage correctly predicts the onset of boredom.
The computer can furnish information on the countermeasures available so that the officer in charge can make his choice as to when and where to fight.
The decision whether to
Once
fight
he
was
has
made
selected
long
a plan
ago.
of counterattack, the computer guides interceptors and missiles to the enemy. After encounter, the computer guides the interceptors back to their bases.
All this with an amazing 35% margin of error.
What is the most precious commodity that electronics defense wins us?
Explosions?
Time. Long before the bomber reaches our defense perimeter, the computer's memory will identify it as friendly. But if a flight of planes were identified as hostile,
We could send a cease and desist letter immediately. The Hooterville Coast Guard snaps into action. Take that, unidentified but possibly hostile visitors.
Is everything. This is electronic defense in depth.
This is coffee.
And what better reason for an effective air defense? But is this protection enough? Here is protection too.
Sage has gone haywire and identified Susie and her friends as hostile.
Weapons of retaliation. Just as our defensive powers had been advancing, so have our instruments of attack.
Susie won't know what hit her.
Demands of plane warfare require the fantastic ability of modern computers.
Hey, the server room at
The
DreamHost.
question was, how could the electronic computer be made airborne?
Catapult, maybe?
Problems of consequence when designing a computer for ground installation became overwhelming when it was proposed to redesign them to fit into jet bombers. First, the problem of space and weight.
Second, the problem of
The interior
love.
of a modern bomber is cramped for space as is. How can a bulky computer be fitted into it? For every extra pound of dead weight carried, a bomber must add many more gallons of fuel. Second, the problem of reliability. Could a computer be designed to
Dude,
withstand
your jellyfish
all
is dragging.
the stresses of flight? Weather, climate, turbulence.
Apathy.
Third, maintenance.
Do we really need the overlay at this point?
For easy ground and air maintenance. These
Thanks.
and other problems were all finally solved by unique design.
By Walt Disney's 9 Old Men.
The basic principle of modular construction. The same multiple arrangement principle which was applied in the design of this doll furniture
Is being used to blow
enabled the
people
Air
up.
Force
Good night,
to
Janie.
procure an airborne computer. By designing an electronic assembly packaged in self-contained units which are then joined,
Your parents put it together.
self-contained units make it easier to achieve durable construction and easier to test each unit for reliability.
And loyalty.
Under all conditions, an airborne computer is likely to be exposed to, and some highly unlikely.
Like doing something peaceful.
High altitudes up to 120,000 feet.
Are really high.
Low temperatures down to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Keep your Eskimos
Below
fresh.
zero. High temperatures up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunlight
It's Broadway.
and rain tests. Life tests.
Hey, it's
of
YouTube
mechanical
scheduled maintenance.
and electronic units. Vibration tests.
Aye, aye, aye,
In this
aye,
test,
aye,
the
aye,
question
aye.
is not, will the computer work under this condition, but how long will it work? Once the continued capabilities of the airborne computer were established, there was only one other major obstacle.
Pete's dad wouldn't let us borrow his plane.
To solve this problem, IBM drew on its commercial experience. It converted its control panels to military.
Early flash drives were
In
unwieldy.
order to test a unit of an airborne computer, the technician merely selects the proper control panel. He then plugs the units into the test equipment.
Stop being
And
dirty.
the signal lights tell him whether the units are working or not. This puts testing computer units in the same class as testing light bulbs.
With just a few thousand more
Today,
deaths on the other
the
side.
airborne computer is no longer a theory, nor an experiment.
It's a failure.
It's a fact. Tested, functioning, practical,
It
and
says keep doors
reproducible.
closed, dudes.
It has gone into production under the label BRAIN. Bombing, radar, navigation equipment.
Killing is fun when it's an
New plant
acronym.
is being rushed to completion in Owego, New York, to boost its output.
Looks like a cracker
Here
factory.
is a scale model of a B-52 showing the relative locations of BRAIN equipment.
Batteries not
The rest of
included.
The system, computers, periscope, and screen are designed to take up a minimum of space and to give a maximum of use.
It's an efficient killing machine.
Computers have taken wing.
That's not a computer, that's a plane.
I got some crosshair jitter in both
Well,
hands
boys, I
with
reckon this is it. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the
Pull the AR-5
Ruskies.
and replace it with a spare.
Sure, Don. Give me a minute. It'll only be a second more.
What doing, Dave?
Yeah, I think I got it now. Okay, the amplifier's replaced. How's the jitter?
Settle down. Yeah, it's okay now.
Back at you.
Thanks, Bill.
Enjoy this unrelated footage of someone changing a light bulb.
And as long as we're on guard,
As long as there's
as
stuff
long
left
as
to
we're
blow up.
ready to look ahead and move ahead, the future of America is secure.
IBM reminds you to use computers to save time and destroy your enemies. It's the American way.